search and seizure instead of subpoena.
Puppies that play while the chickens that bathe. The chickens are over here. Watch these dogs love their playtime. That crate is 80 feet long. They have a pool and a fan. And all kinds of cute toys, all kinds of toys to play with.
That certainly matters. I can tell you one thing.
Let's watch the clown world. See what the comedy
whether or not
bringing
the Iran deal.
Like puppies that play while the clown world goes cray cray. Yeah.
That schools will prioritize the retention of teachers of color over seniority in the event of a layoff.
That's racist.
There's no white kids represented in that.
Anytime you put one race over another, racist.
The white fragility is triggered by discomfort and anxiety. It is born of superiority and entitlement. In fact, it is a powerful means of white racial control and the protection of white advantage. In my early days of work of what was then termed a diversity trainer, I was taken aback by how angry and defensive so many white people became at the suggestion that they were connected to racism in any way.
Let me get this right. So you go to a company and you tell the white employees they're racist. She was taken aback that they were offended. What is wrong with these people? They're not trying to find unity. They're trying to create more division. Stand by.
If I say all lives matter, I'm a racist. If I stand for my flag, I have to apologize for it. I'm not allowed to go to church, but I can burn churches to the ground. I'm not allowed to open my own business, but I can go and destroy other people's businesses. If I wear a badge, have a gun, and I'm dressed in blue, I'm a racist pig. But if I walk around destroying my city with bricks and masks, I'm considered a peaceful protester. I'm not allowed to peacefully protest.
Hold on, we're going to get to the teachers who hate their students have skin like me. But you can see how young ladies like this would be a little confused. They've been told they're shitbags, that they're the problem for so long, and then they see like basic things in front of them and they go, what's going on here? Something ain't right.
That's why moral compass is important.
But I can go destroy and graffiti my capital. I'm not allowed to go to the park to play t-ball with my family, but I can destroy the park. I'm not allowed to protect our historical monuments and history, but I can go tear them down and have them land on top of people. I'm not allowed to have an opinion on racial matters because I'm white, but if I don't have an opinion on it, I'm the reason why people are oppressed. I can go...
And so that's kind of the thing, right? So if you say something about it, you're a white savior. If you don't say something about it, you're racist. So it's like, what do you do? And then you meet normal people around town, darker than me, right? You get along just fine. So they keep teaching and creating division. So the young people are like, I'll just do whatever I want. There's that white person is jamming me up, right? You saw what happened in LA with the huge group gathering, we'll call it, of people at the 7-Eleven. These cities won't put people in jail. They won't prosecute them because maybe they're darker. And so you're creating a system that's designed to fail.
In the streets with the BLM, but if I go to a Trump rally, COVID-19 magically appears. Does anyone else not see the hypocrisy in all of this? I am done with your bullshit.
For the first time in my life, I'm going to be teaching at a majority white school. And I'm kind of interested to see how students and parents react to my classroom, or if they even notice.
Why should that even matter? You're just teaching the kids. What happens if a big influx of migrants come in? Then she will be teaching at a diverse school. Does it matter if you're teaching a class? She's teaching elementary school. Does she have to create division? Even at this level, kids that just get along. But it's part of the agenda, these self-hating white people who just want to shit on other white people for sport.
Anything about it, because it's built for non-white students. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look around and you interact with some of the materials I have, you'll notice that there's like no white kids represented in that. So just on like that very first level of multicultural education.
So if you're teaching kids, let's say it's 50-50, right? Darker kids, lighter kids. Wouldn't you just teach them the best thing for them to learn at elementary school? You're not teaching many subjects that require you to go, well, let me tell you about this author. They're darker than you. Let me tell you about this mathematician. They're lighter than you. Is there a need for this? They're creating division on purpose among young kids who just want to be friends, play kickball, have fun.
And I don't think like my new students will mind, but you know, not a single white face there. Same with my coloring pages. I have a big stack coloring pages that students can use, and not a single one with a person on it depicts a white person or character.
Does that seem odd to you? Even in a school that's primarily darker than me, wouldn't you want to teach the kids how to interact in society at large? You don't want to show them something that looks like they live in Nigeria. You want to show them something that looks like they live in America. That would make sense because you have to integrate downstream with Americans that could be lighter skinned, darker.
Because I just kept looking for pages for them that they relate to. And then the only Disney princesses I have are Mulan and Moana because they're some of my favorites, and coincidentally they are not white. Then another thing is my classroom library. Of course, literature is kind of dominated by straight, cis, white men, so there is a good deal of that in my
How did she know they identified as men? How did she know they were cis? Does she have records of that? You can't misgender them in that fashion. You know, come on, let's be crazy all together.
in my books, but it is overpowered now from all the books that I've been purchasing to add on to my library that depict a lot of diverse peoples, whether that's people of color or I have like books on non-binary, trans, otherwise LGBTQ characters.
She doesn't have any books like the majority of America. So the majority of America, let's say, are lighter skinned, they're straight. She doesn't have any of those books. So she just wants to teach kids that are darker, either about darker experts or people that are ABC Mafia. That's it. So if you're white in this situation, it doesn't apply. How is this helping the kids long term? Are they better off of this? Now, if you came to me and said, look at the test scores, we've been teaching this type of teaching to the students, and the kids are performing outstanding, I go, wow, okay, I guess I should listen. But they're not. They're not better off. They're worse. And what do I mean worse? You've got a bunch of people that are entitled. They think everybody's screwing them. This test scores aren't higher. Things aren't getting better by teaching this type of shit. And if you say somehow you've got implicit racial bias you don't know about, and it's this complicated formula, and you're supposed to figure out what to do. Do you hang yourself on a cross? Do you give people, your house just came here from El Salvador? What's the solve here?
So there's just not a lot of adherence to the status quo on just that like base level of my classroom. So I'm kind of wondering if I feel like some parents might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I would think so. They walk in and everything, every picture, every book, this little dark-skinned kid, and the whole class is white kids, you're gonna go, hey teacher, where'd you find these books? It seems like, how about diversity, right? How about we have an Asian kid, a white kid, like the UN concept? No, every project book's got a dark-skinned kid. You go, this doesn't seem very diverse. It seems like you're just going one way. How does this work, teacher? Explain it to me.
If my experience with posh white parents in the past holds true for this year, we'll see.
Some of you guys may have seen my other videos about linguistic hegemony. This means that a small number of people who don't represent the majority get to decide what's proper English and what's not. This is classist and racist.
Wait a second here. If the country's majority white, she's going to say it's the white person doing all this. Wouldn't that be the majority deciding the language? Now, if you want to reframe English, make up some sort of peasant logic English, okay, but she's an English teacher, right? And you're supposed to teach it so the kids come out and they're better than their parents. They're articulate. They can read and write it well.
Alright, I guess it's time to pull the dogs back in because they're just laying there.
Tell a ninth grader writing a college essay practice or a freshman in college to not start a sentence with and, because that's not proper academic language. And academic, for a very long time, has been synonymous with white, right? Donald Glover. First of all, you talk white. Second off, you act like you haven't given up yet. Right?
I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but teaching, right? You want your kids to be smarter than the last generation, to be better, have a better mastery of the English language so they can communicate on the world stage. Everything's global now, right? So if you're in America and you speak English like the whites of West Virginia, then you talk to someone, say, in Sweden who's got English master as their second language, you come across like a moron. Is she trying to teach the kids or hurt the kids in their future?
Great writers who understand language break silly little fourth grade rules all the time. Hemingway, James Joyce, Allen Ginsberg, William Shakespeare. Kendrick Lamar, James Baldwin. Well, his grammar was pretty spot on. I take that one back. But if you've never read something like, I don't know, Charles Chestnut, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, and of course, Dr. King. These guys are masters of grammar because they understood something called the present.
Alright, so they're masters of grammar. Why would you want to change that? She's saying grammar should be whatever you want, make up a new Pig Latin, and that'll be the new English because the English language was controlled by white people. That does not make any difference. If the Brazilians get rid of Portuguese because it's controlled by white people, that's the language they speak. So the better you are at it, the more productive you'll be in society because you sound smarter. That's how it works in real life.
They used dialect. They knew that in order to be respected and understood by white audiences, they had to be better with their words and their grammar than most white people.
Alright, so if they had to be better, wouldn't you want your students to be better? So on the world stage, if they communicate with someone in another country who speaks English as a second language, they're better than they are at it. They sound smart. They don't sound like a dumbass. Would that be the way to do it if you really cared about the students? If you cared about your students of color, wouldn't you want to do that, make them the best you could, not say they're victims? You say, speak however you want. Speak in text language. That's going to get you far in life.
To be honest, this applies to many other things aside from language. Academic English does not mean that only academic English is proper. Linguistic hegemony. Add those words to your lexicon.
I guess the puppies are coming in.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. Come on, D. Wade.
I don't believe in